Okay, so we're all set up. Now let's go. I just posted a link on Slack for the live stream. Sorry that I forgot to do that earlier. Okay. Close this, close this. Now, so we're on GitHub. Now, we want to make sure that we use the same email that we used to create our GitHub account in our Git configuration. So I'm going to ask you all to verify that by, in your local repo, the one that's in your terminal, do git config -- global -- list. Oh, that should show you git config -- global -- list. That should show you your email address and your name. Is everyone seeing their email address and their name? Okay. So if you don't see your name, do git config -- global user.name. And then in quotes, put your name. I'm going to change mine to a label. And I'm going to see if that worked. It doesn't have to be the same, yeah. Yes, that did change it on mine. Okay. Is everyone able to see their email address and the name? Sure. Okay. So at least we need to see our email address when we do git config -- global -- list. Do we all see our emails? Okay. So if you don't have your email, then you need to do git config -- global user.email your.pursuit.org. No, this is going to be your name. So in my case, it's going to be. That's correct. Yes, you want to make sure that this matches the GitHub that you, the email that you use to create your GitHub account. Cameron? I think I'll need to check on that. I think it doesn't need to be because it matches you with your email. Yeah. I obligated only the email. You don't see your email? If you do, try to do this. Okay, so thumbs up those that see their email. Okay, and if you see your email and you cannot get out, like this. Remember that when we're in a situation like this, we could press Q to exit. Okay. That's for another one. Yeah. Everyone sees their email. This is really important. Okay. Everyone. Cool. All right. So how do we connect this local folder with a Git repo, a GitHub repo? The first thing that we need to do is go on GitHub, and we're gonna create a new GitHub repo. So you'll go to this plus sign. You're gonna hit new repository. Then it takes you to this screen. Here you should see your username, and in here, we're gonna type the name of the repo. It's a convention to name the name of the repo the same thing you name your folder. So your local folder. So my folder is called, let's just see where we are. My folder is called Alejo, so I'm just gonna use that. And I would recommend you name the repo the same as you name the folder. Okay? Is everyone with me here? That is a good question. Nothing will happen. That's still allowed. The problem is that you're gonna have to remember that they are not named the same, and that's room for failure, basically. You will forget that really easy. Okay, is everyone on this screen? Now, just click on public if it's not already selected. And then lastly, hit create repository. Is everyone seeing this? Sure. Actually, I'm gonna have them side by side. So my folder is called Alejo. That's why I call my repo Alejo as well. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay, so that means you're not on the repo that we created yesterday. Do you remember creating a folder with your name? So you'll have to cd into that folder. Yeah. On that, we select none, I think. Is that an option? Yeah, we just leave that as it is. Yeah. Okay, is everyone on this page? Where are you? Okay. because I wanted to make sure I was okay, so you have like 5 times. Do you have steps that we add yeah. You only need to add here. Yeah. Do you have the notes that you revised?
There is something. Oh yeah, that's the thing. Well, it means that it's like, you know, let's see. First is literally like, it's like, here. I think it's getting the so yeah. Once you get the I think all the stripes. Yeah.
Okay, so is everyone on this screen on GitHub? Absolutely everyone. Okay, so you'll have your Git repo on your terminal, which is a folder with your name. And now what we need to do is connect them. So GitHub tells me if I want to connect an existing or push rather an existing repository from the command line, I should follow these steps. This is if it also tells me if I wanted to create a new one, a new repository from the command line. So these instructions here, for instance, shouldn't be totally strange to you. Git init, we create a new repo, and so on. Okay, so first I want to show you that my local repo or this folder Alejo is not connected to anything. I can do that with git remote -v. If I type, nothing pops up. We're gonna see the difference once we add, once we connect it. Also, I should clarify that once we connect our local Git repo, which is the one that I have open on my terminal, to an external Git repo in the cloud, that's called a remote. And it makes sense because our local Git repo is the one that we have in our computer, and the other one that's living on some other computer is remote, right? And we call that other computer or that other place, we call it origin. Okay, so to add, to connect them, we're gonna type git remote add, and then the name. That's what we oftentimes call it origin. We could name it anything, but it's just a good practice to call it origin. And then we copy and paste this URL. This is the URL that GitHub is giving us to store a copy of our local repo. Right, is everyone here with me? Don't press enter yet. Yeah. Okay, if you press enter, that's okay. We haven't explained what push means. That's going to be our next step. So if you press enter, nothing should have popped up, as apparently nothing happened. But I show you that git remote early didn't show me anything. So I'm going to try it again. Remote -v. And you should try it again too. Now you should see two things pop up. And those both are called origin, and you see the URL. Peter? If you didn't hit enter, yeah, you should do it now. Okay, is everyone seeing this? Cool, so this is really exciting because we're about to send our code to the cloud, and then you can share it with friends, you can, yeah, and do anything. Okay, so now what the action that we're gonna perform is called pushing your code, like sending it somewhere else. To do that, GitHub instructs me to do git push -u origin master. And that again means sending my code, what I have currently in this folder, to the other computer in the cloud. So also, something that I encourage you all to always do, instead of copying and pasting, always type it, because you build muscle memory by typing. So I'm going to do git push. Let me open this a little bit. Origin, this is where it's going to go, right? We call that other thing origin. And master, we haven't seen what master is yet, but we're going to get to that. That's correct. Yes, I forgot the -u. The -u is important because we want Git to remember where we push this to, so that we don't have to say origin master all the time. Later on, we could just say git push. Okay, so do that and then press enter. And you should see this pop up: enumerating objects, counting objects, delta compression, writing objects, so on and so forth. Then here it tells us where to send it. Send it to GitHub, my username, and repository called Git. Does everyone see this? It's asking you for the username and password. Okay, type your username from GitHub and password from GitHub. Say that again. Okay. Yeah. I think we're going to address those. Yeah, we're going to have to address that. Joanne? No. I forgot your name. Brianna. Yes. Okay. Is everyone are you seeing that? I mean, no? What are you seeing? Okay. So some of you are seeing an error that it says you don't have the access rights to push your code. Who's saying that? Who's okay? So a few of you, and who is seeing something like this? Everybody else? Okay. I don't know exactly why the error is happening, but I know how we can fix it. So the thing is, GitHub doesn't trust you, those that saw the error. And we need to do some extra steps for that. Actually, not sure if we will have the time for doing that right now. Could the people who are seeing the error, can they stay after for a little bit so that we can walk through that? Okay. Say that again. Oh, yeah, you need to do Git mode, remove, or and then you can do add again. Okay, so it's unfortunate that some of you couldn't send your code to GitHub yet. We're gonna get to that. But I just wanted to show you that now, if you stayed on this Chrome tab, I can refresh. And now I have my code living in GitHub. Now I can throw my computer out the window and my code will survive. Okay, so, oh man, that really affects us. Okay, so the last thing that we're going to learn on Git is how can we get this code? How could we? Now I put my code on GitHub. Now because it's available, you all can get the code that I wrote, and potentially once you're working on teams, everyone on the team can access that code. So what we're going to do next is we're going to see how we can get this code that I just pushed. So I'm going to share this link with you, and you're going to follow some steps. So this, for those that the Git repository was created and you were able to push to, you get this green button here. And then you can copy this link. You're gonna copy this link. So first, go to this URL that I'm gonna share right now on Slack. So everyone go to that URL, and then, yeah, Cam?
I was going to say I noticed an error.
You notice an error?
Yeah.
Please.
There is a file that was saved 23 hours ago. We didn't change the name.
If I didn't make any changes today?
Yeah, I mean, we didn't save it, and you won't see anything. See, it says 23 hours ago?
Yeah.
But you literally put it up there 2 seconds.
That's correct.
So there's like, it wasn't saved on your computer recently.
Yeah.
So you were pushing an old file up there.
Yes, and that's a good point. We're still going to be able to see though, so I don't know what you mean by that we're not going to be able to. But it's good that this is the magic of Git. Git remembers that this file was created 23 hours ago, or that the last edit that I created, that I made was 3 hours ago. And I can see also, you can see my history here in commits. And this should match what you see in Git log. Okay, so is everyone on that link? The link that I put on Slack, is everyone on that link? Okay. So now click the green button. I think we're gonna need to, and then click on use HTTPS. You will not be able to use SSH because you're not me. And this will be if you want to change code in my repository. And we're not gonna get into that just yet. So you switch to use clone with HTTPS, and then you click on this icon to copy that URL. Okay, is everyone with me? Yeah. You went to the link. That means you're not putting your username and your password correctly. You can find your username here. This is your username, and the password is the password that you just created the account. Okay. Who's with me on this page? Thumbs up if you're with me on this page. Okay. What are some of the reasons why some people is not with me? So when the computer complains, 100% of the time is our problem. It's our error. The computer is like never wrong.
But I logged every log off my GitHub just to prove that I'm passing. I don't know.
Yeah, double check your spelling. I have wasted hours checking for spelling mistakes. So always check that. Okay, so now for you to get this code that I've uploaded to GitHub, what you can do is once you copy this URL, you go to your terminal, and I don't want to copy this code from GitHub to this current folder. Well, because it's technically the same. But for you, let's get out of our repo here. So I'm just going to go to the parent of my folder with cd dot dot. Now I'm on desktop. It doesn't matter if you're not on desktop, as long as you're outside of your Git repo. Is everyone following? Okay. Now in my desktop, I'm gonna say Git Clone to literally clone that code that is in GitHub. I'm gonna paste the URL that I copied. Should look at something like this. Oh, actually, I cannot do this here because I have another folder called the same. So I'm just gonna go to my home with cd dot dot. Now I'm in my home directory. You don't have to go to your home directory because you don't have a folder called Alejo. Okay, so I'm gonna take Git Clone, then paste, and then hit enter. Do we have the same results that I have here? Cloning into Alejo. Okay. Now, if you do ls, you should see that now you have a folder called Alejo. And if you cd into that folder, what do you see? You see the file that I have uploaded, right? And you should see that the content of that file is the same. Was everyone able to see the content of the file? Okay. So that is how we're going to collaborate once we're working on a project. We're going to send our code to GitHub, and then from GitHub, everybody else gets it. How are we feeling about this? Okay, no, very good. Some of you, that's good. That's okay. Good. Do you have a question? That is a great question. If multiple people is working on the same thing, on the same file, so they can work on the same file, but they cannot work on the same lines. And this is something that you're gonna see very often. It's called a merge conflicts. You're gonna have conflicts because I changed line 3, and maybe Joy was changing the end of line 3, and then Git gets all confused, saying, I don't know who do I believe. I believe Alejo or Joy. But we're getting into that, and that's something that you all will face because I don't know any software engineer or developer that hasn't had a Git conflict. But we're gonna get through it. Okay, so that concludes our Git and GitHub. You're gonna need the steps that we followed to clone this repo, because if you go to Canvas, the lab that you have to submit by end of day tomorrow.
End of day.
Say that again? Yeah, at 11, end of day tomorrow, at midnight tomorrow, is a Git repo. And then this is a Git repo, and what you're gonna do is you're gonna go to the main. Actually, I'm gonna update the link. We're in the README file of this Git repo called Value Types and Operators Assignment. You're gonna click on here, and then you're gonna hit clone or download. You're gonna copy this link, and you're gonna repeat the step that I just did. So I'm gonna go back to my desktop. I'm gonna hit Git Clone, and then paste the URL. Now, once I hit enter, I have downloaded a copy of this folder of this repo onto my computer. So if I do ls, I should now see a folder called Value Types and Operators Assignment. What you're gonna do is you're gonna do cd Value Types and Operators Assignment. You're gonna see what is in that folder with ls, and then you're gonna do Atom or your text editor and open the README file. Once that opens, you're gonna follow these instructions. And this is what this is actually the meat of our lecture today. What are the types of the following expressions, and what do they do? What do they evaluate to, and why? So for answering these questions, what you're gonna do is next to the prompt or the question, you're gonna write what you think. In this case, we're gonna see that this is a number. Okay. If you have any questions, I'm gonna be available on Slack tomorrow, so you could ask me. I'm going to be available throughout the day. If you have any questions. Okay. So that's how you're going to do that. Now let's get on to the material for today. Let's go on. Now, today is when we're actually going to write some JavaScript. Ari? That is a great question. That reminds me that, okay. So I made a mistake. What we're gonna do instead of cloning is something called forking, and then we're gonna hit this button. What this is gonna do is not very different than cloning. What it's gonna do is it's gonna create a copy of this repository on your GitHub account. So if I click on fork and I select my username, you might not need to select your username. It's making a copy of that repo. Now you should see, and I'm gonna send detailed instructions on Slack as to those steps that I'm kind of just following. I just want you to have kind of a high-level idea of what we're gonna do. That's gonna copy that repo onto your GitHub account, and now it's gonna be your username followed by the name. Now, once you have that copy on your GitHub account, is that you're gonna hit clone. And then you're gonna copy this URL and paste it on your terminal after Git Clone. That's a good question. You can copy now the SSH one. And yeah, those that are having a problem pushing your code, we're gonna get that sorted out. Okay, so finally, we're gonna write some JavaScript today. Wow, that's actually truly exciting because we can write JavaScript here. Like if this is a JavaScript expression, console.log, hello world, and we have to write this because this is a programming tradition. We always write our first program and it says hello world. So this is a JavaScript expression, but I kind of type it here because the terminal doesn't understand JavaScript just yet. For that, some of you might remember that we installed Node on our first day. Node is an interpreter for JavaScript. Node understands JavaScript. So for entering to Node, we just type Node. Once you hit enter, you should see that now you have this greater than sign here. So everyone seeing that? You type Node, okay. Now I'm gonna type the same thing that I typed that I know is valid JavaScript. And I'm gonna hit enter. As I hit enter, now the terminal doesn't complain anymore. It just gives me hello world. It logged what I asked it to log. Okay. Is everyone with me here? I just hit it called Node. The Node program. Okay. Michael? Okay, that's good. Sandra? 3 dots? Okay, yeah, you can do Control-C to exit from there. And then try it again. Okay, so Node understands JavaScript. And JavaScript divides data in different types. There are different kinds of data. There are numbers, there are strings, and we're going to get into what those specifically are. Okay, so let's start with, there are 6 basic types in JavaScript. I'm going to list them here. The first one is number. And by the way, actually, I'm going to do it in my text editor. There are numbers. strings, booleans, undefined object, and I'm missing the last one. I think it's math, but I'm gonna get a sneak peek to the lesson. Sure here. Boolean function. Ah, yeah, that's the one that I forgot. Function. We're gonna get to the basics now, which are only numbers, strings, booleans, and undefined. We're gonna see these four today. Okay. So if we numbers are pretty straightforward. We just literally type the number. So let's type the number 42. If we type that and then we hit enter, we see the number just kind of shown back to us in a different color. So everyone see that? Okay. So as with numbers in real life, what is some of the stuff that we can do with them? Subtraction, okay. And math in general, right? Arithmetic expressions. Okay, so let's do some of that. How could I try to add two numbers? Any ideas? Go ahead. Okay, space plus. Let's do maybe 100. And let's hit enter. Cool, we did our first addition in JavaScript. That's pretty cool. What other math expressions or math operators can we use? And by the way, I forgot to mention this, just like in real life, it's a mathematical operator. What are some of the others? Peter? Multiply? Okay, let's try the same thing. I just hit, if I want to type the same thing that I previously typed, I do the arrow up. So I'm going to do 42 times 100. Okay, another operator. Yep. Divide. What is this going to give us? 42 divided by 100. 0.42. And then here we saw our first decimal. It's good that in JavaScript, all numbers are just numbers. Some other languages have differences for decimal numbers. But in JavaScript, we are lucky that we don't have to worry about that. They're just numbers. Okay. Another one. It's another subtraction. Oh, sorry. That's not a valid JavaScript. Great. Okay, what happens if can we do more than one? More than one operator? Or what happens if I want to do multiplication and addition and something else all in one? Right, just like in math, you can use parentheses to group mathematical expressions. So I could do 42 plus 7 times 100, for instance. Right. What happens if I omit or skip the parentheses? What are we seeing? People? Could you say that a little bit louder? That's correct. Just like in regular math, those rules still apply. The multiplication has somehow more weight than the addition. Because first it's going to do the multiplication and then the addition. So everyone following along, is that clear? Cool. Okay, now what I want you to do is, oh, actually, before that, I want to show you another arithmetic operator that is the kind of percentage sign, and we're gonna see what that is useful for. So before we did 42, actually let's do something simpler. Let's do 10 divided by 3, right? So that's 3.333. Now let's try what this symbol, which is it's called the modulo, give us. Does anybody have an idea what this is gonna give us? Remainder right here. Cool. And then I hear 1. Cool. Why 1? Right? Right, the remainder. Okay, cool. Yeah, if you were to do this math expression on a piece of paper or on the board, that will be the remainder that you get. What happens if I do, let's say, 10 modulo 2? What are we going to see? 0. Okay. Cool. So we learn the basics. That is a good question. Why? Where would the remainder be useful for? What would it be useful for? Michael?
Sorting through the number of options. We have to how people choose it. We have 3 options. We use a modulo 3 function. So pick the 3 options.
Okay. I think yes. That is, I think, a somewhat of a complex example. Can we come up with something simpler as to why the remainder? Okay. Sorry. Brianna, no. Yeah? Great, yes, that is a great example. We could tell if a number is even or odd by doing the remainder modulo 2. So 10 modulo 2 is 0. An odd number modulo 2 is going to be 1. So that's a good one. And in general, you might be doing some math. Let's say adding the inventory, and you want to see for some reason the remainder of your calculation. That's the operator that you're going to use. Okay, so now I want you to, in pairs, list out your favorite 3-digit number and come up with an expression that uses all the operators to give you that favorite number. So for instance, let's say I'm just going to do it very simple. My favorite number is 100. So I'm going to do something like 1 times 2. Actually, I didn't prepare for that, but let's just come along. So that's going to be 2. Let's divide that by 2. Let's add 90. And you'll have to be careful with the order of operations. I think, does everyone get the idea? Cool. Okay, so in pairs, come up with a 3-digit number randomly, and now write an arithmetic expression that gives you that number using the 4 operators: addition, subtraction, division, and multiplication. You're going to have 5 minutes for that. Okay. Okay. Who wants to share? Who wants to share the mathematical expression that they came up with? Okay. Now tell me what to type. Wait, what's the number? What's the last? 144. Okay, let's just take note of that. Now give me the expression.
33 minus 5 parentheses divided by 2 plus 10. And then you put in parentheses in that expression.
Where?
So another parentheses, infinity, and then one after the.
Like here?
Oh, no, on the side. Yeah. In the beginning, where
In
the
the
first
beginning?
parentheses is,
Yeah.
add another open parentheses.
Okay.
And then after the 10, add
A closing parenthesis
Yeah.
here. Why do I need the? Okay. Yeah. Go ahead.
and everything.
Times 6.
Yeah.
Okay.
And enter.
144. Right. Let's get. Cool. Let's get one more. Yep. Can't. Okay.
Don't worry, I got this.
You can hold your computer.
Thank you very much. No, it's okay. It's okay. I got it. 2 plus 0 minus 0 times 2 divide 2. There's a modulus. 3 times 202.
Great. Give it up for Ken. Oh yeah. You used the module. You didn't have to use the module, but if you did, that was good. Okay, so now we learn how to do mathematical expressions in JavaScript. Congratulations. Okay, before we move from numbers, there are some numbers that are special in JavaScript. One such number is called infinity. Infinity, again, is a special number. For instance, if we try to do 0 by 0, that gives us nan. Okay, that's another special number. But let's try to do, what is a really, can somebody give me a really large number? Actually, 80 plus 1? Say that again? Right. Thank you, Armin, for that. Division by 0 is not well defined in math, right? So that could give us infinity. That gives us an infinite number, basically, right? There is no clear definition as to what division by 0 should give you. So infinity is just that really large number that we don't even think about. Okay, there is another special number which we actually saw, which is 0 divided by 0, and it gives us nan. Nan is weird because it stands for not a number, and we're gonna get to why is it actually a number. Just so that you're aware, those are two special numbers that we have in JavaScript: infinity. And I think we also have minus infinity because it could go both ways. Okay. Cool. So now we learned numbers in JavaScript. Let's do the next thing after that, which is are called strings. Now, string is just a sequence of characters that can be letters or numbers next to each other and wrapped into quotations. So for instance, this is a string. The string that starts with, it will always start with quotes. It can be single quotes or double quotes. And here I type the string hello world. I type enter, JavaScript or Node accepts that and it gives me something back. When I type something that doesn't make sense to JavaScript, I get reference error or some kind of error. For now, we saw that this is a string. So A string, as I said, can have any combination inside. Let's do something like 77. This is still a string. A string, again, is characters or numbers next to each other wrapped by quotes. Can be double quotes or single quotes. Now, what we saw, we know why numbers are good, right? We can do math with that. What do you think is good about strings? Like, why would we want strings in our programs? Jonathan? Make sentences, great. That's a really good example. Anything else? Usernames, Douglas?
We say specific inputs.
Specific input, right. Cool, so yes, that's right. We could make sentences, make text. If you realize once I type in something here, this is a mix of characters, right? I'm typing something that could be a sentence, like git add, for instance. And then this is a computer program saying, oh, you type git add, the string git add. I'm going to do something special with that. So it's again, like numbers allow us to communicate and express in our programs. Yes.
Let's say like
a folder, okay.
and you wanted a string that said name.
That's right. Yes, I could do a string as the name of a folder, for example. Right. Okay. So I'm telling you all this, and you could believe me that this is a string and that this is a number, but you rather believe JavaScript itself. So there is one operator that we didn't go over, but we're going to learn now. That is called type off. Type off. It's an operator just like the plus or the minus, but this one has a name, so it's a little bit special. If you do type off 42, for instance, what do you think it's going to tell you? But it's going to tell you the type of what you typed. What if I do hello type of Alejandro? Right? Also, kind of side note, I forgot to mention that there are unary operators which only take one operand, and this is language that you will get if you read the lesson before coming to class. This is an operator, this is an operand, right? On math, we have an operand on the left side, an operand on the right side, and an operator in the middle. So again, this one is an operator that only takes, it's a unary operator because it only takes one value. Just quickly, another unary operator could be the minus, because we could do -4, for instance. Now that gives us the -4. Right. Another unary operator is, for instance, 4++, and that says invalid left-hand side of expression. So that is actually not valid JavaScript. We're going to get to that as we create variables, so don't worry about it now. Okay, so far we know that unary operators are type off on the minus side. Cool, so now you know that if you forget what type anything in JavaScript is, you can use type off to tell you. Okay, let's move on to another type of information that is called, actually wait, before we move on, strings have, we could use an operator with string that is the plus operator. So that is to say, we could say something like hello plus world. What do we think this is going to do? Combine them? Yeah. Right. Just hit enter. It joined the two. And the technical term for this is concatenation. It's concatenating the two words. How can I do if I want a space separating hello from world? A space here, and a space here. Another plus. O'Neill. Blank. Okay, yes, those are both good ways. And here I just need one on either side, or I could have done this too. You can combine more than one plus, so you could have done something like this. Now you're joining three strings together. You're concatenating them. Okay, what is the operator that serves two purposes? In arithmetic expressions, it's going to add. In string expressions, it's going to join them, going to concatenate them. If I try to do minus, JavaScript gives you n. Right? Does this is kind of confusing, right? Why would it give you n? Well, the reason why it gave you n is because it's trying to see if this is a number. This is not a number, this is a string, and just to see if this is a number. It's not a number, it's not a string. It's trying to it's trying to subtract two strings, and there's not such a thing. So it gives us that is not a number. Okay. Cool. So we saw operators on numbers and strings. Now let's move on to the third type. The third type is called a Boolean. And Booleans spell like this. Booleans can only have one of two values. What are some of those? Those that read it. Is that true or false? Okay. And that's pretty much it. So this is a Boolean. And this is not a Boolean. Why didn't I have to do quotation marks? Camille? I think what you were saying sounded right. It just is. Yeah, we could say that. We could also say true or false are keywords that JavaScript understands by default. Okay. How can I make sure? I can tell you this is a Boolean, but how can I make sure? How can JavaScript tell you that this is actually a Boolean? Type off. Oh, a Boolean. That's cool. Okay. So why do we think Booleans would be useful in a program? Conditions. Okay. Yeah. Anybody else? Sandra? In if statements, yeah. And basically, what Booleans will allow us to do, and once we compare them, once we use them with comparison operators, let us ask questions in our programming language. And I say, we're gonna get to that like right now. Okay, so let's learn about Boolean operators in JavaScript. Now, Boolean operators or comparison operators, let's start with those. What are some examples of comparison operators? And those will be logical operators. I'm talking about comparison operators. Yep, yeah. Less than, okay. That will be this symbol. Are we all familiar with less than, greater? This is greater than, this is less than. And you could, something that I didn't know that I learned here is you can remember them by using your hands. The right hand is like this operator. In that case, this one, right? That is greater than. The right hand is greater than. The left hand is less than. So it will be something like this. So let's ask our first question. Is 3 greater than 4 than 5? Is 3 greater than 5? Well, you're already talking JavaScript. I would say no, but cool. Now let's get this question to give us true with the less than operator. Okay, another operator that we can combine with the less than, or a different question that we could ask is 3 greater or equal to 5? What do we think is going to give us here? False, right? Because 3 is not greater or equal to 5. What if we do 3 greater equal 3? True? Right. What if we want to ask for explicitly that they're not equal? Did anybody see that on the lecture notes? Jonathan? Exclamation. Exclamation and what else? Equal, equal. Actually, in this case. Right? 3 is not different than 3. And maybe before seeing difference, you should have seen equality, which is triple equal. 3 is equal to 3, right? And if we try to do 3 equals something else, we get false. Okay, is everyone following so far? Joanne, you have a question? That is a good question. You could do 2 equal signs. There is an edge case or a weird case that we're gonna encounter, which is is the number 1 equal to string 1, and these two are different, right? We're trying to compare a number with a string. In this case, it's gonna give us true. So just to make sure, we use the triple equal that gives us the right answer. A string 1 is not the same as a number 1. Cool. Okay, so we have learned how to ask some questions in JavaScript. How could we combine more than one kind of question? Like, what if I want to see whether 3 is greater than 5 and something else? I think, Sandra, you were talking about this earlier. Right. So these are logical operators. We have and, or, and not. So let's go with and first. So we're going to ask, is 3 greater than 5? And is, let's say, 2 less than 7? Who has seen this kind of expressions before? Okay. What do we think this is going to give us and why? Sandra? It's going to give us false because 3 is not greater than 5. Okay, that's it. Right. You give us false. And why didn't we ask this other question? Okay, so that's correct. If we look at the lesson material, you will see that there are something called a table of truth, right? So if A and B are both true, A and B, the expression A and B will give us equal to true. And not only give us equal to true, as Sandra said, is if both are true. Once one of them is false, the entire expression evaluates to false. Okay. So we saw at the end. What if we try the or? How do we type an or? We want to see whether one is true or the other. Yeah, Susan. 2 straight lines above the delete button, or under the delete button. Yes. These are called vertical bars or pipes. Okay, so what is this expression going to give us now? Why? Right. Only one of them has to be true for the expression to be true. If we look at the table of truth, actually, I don't think we have it here. But you're right. Only one side needs to be true for the expression to be true. Right. So we cannot only compare numbers. We can also compare strings. We could do something like string cat is triple equal string cat. What is this going to give us? Oh, sorry. It's going to give us true, right? Because the string cat, this side is false, but we're saying it's either this or the right side. The right side becomes true. Okay. So an example of actually, I'm not going to go into that. Now let's see. Yeah.
Why did you switch the cat? You had the cat was at your run.
You mean like this?
Yeah.
Or like that?
Yeah.
Cat. We're comparing cat or 2 greater than 7. What is this going to give us? True. Why? Right. And then in this case, what's happening is if the first side is true, JavaScript doesn't even go to the second side because it just found that one of them was true. That's all it cares about. It just moves on. Okay. So one last thing that I need to show you is how to convert a number to a string and a string to a number in case we want to do that. Now, those are called type conversions. We're taking a number and putting it in a string and converting it, or the opposite, which is a string into a number. Okay, so I'm going to clear my console here. And how can we convert a number into a string? Does anybody know the answer to that? Converting a number into a string? Cool. Okay, that's fine. Something we can do is actually let's see what happens in this. Let's analyze what's going on here. Hello plus 42. What do I get? Hello 42. And what's the output? What is this? What's the type of this? String. How do we know that it's a string? Double quotes. Yes, wrap in quotes. We could also, if we want to make sure, we could do type of, and then wrap this in parentheses, so that JavaScript evaluates this, and then after that it checks the type of the result string. Right? No surprises. Okay, so we kind of converted a number into a string, right? The only thing is that it has the hello word pretended to it. What happens if we do a special string? And this is a special string because it's an empty string. Yeah, that's all right. You can have empty strings. They don't have anything inside. If we do this, now our number became string 42. Now, why would we want to do this? Let's say you want to display the number itself, and then most of the times when you're seeing numbers on the screen, they're being converted from whatever representation the computer, or actually, to be more accurate, from binary to the visual representation, something that you can understand in a string. Okay. After that, we learn how to do that. Another way is with a special keyword called number. Actually, sorry. Now this is how to convert a string into a number. So before we see that, let's take the string that this gave us, 42, and let's call our first function. This is, again, another special keyword called parse int 42, the string. Right, so 42 here is a string because it's in quotes. We hit enter and we see the number in yellow without quotes. That's how Node let us know that it is a number indeed. Okay. So we learned how to convert one to the other, strings to numbers, numbers to string. The last thing that we're gonna touch on before we move on, or before we leave rather, is a concept that might be tricky. For instance, and it's called truthy and falsy, and that is a number or a string has a Boolean implicit value. So what do I mean by that? I can say something like okay, we could say something. We didn't see the not, and I think this will be a good introduction. So let's see not true. What's not true? False. Not false, true. Right? So what we could do is something like, let's do not true. What if we do not true? True. Okay. So for us to see the implicit Boolean value of a number of a string, we could use not for that. So we could do, for instance, not of 42, 41. If we do that, we get true. So that means that 41 is a truth value. It's gonna, if we put it in an if statement that we're gonna see, or if we put it in a question where we have something like greater than. So we could do something like, let's do 1 and 0. Oh, in this case, it gives us 0. But if we do the not, we're going to see that that is equal to false. Because, well, if we do not of 0, that is a falsy value. So there are some values in JavaScript of truthy and some are false. And we're going to get to what that is useful for later on. We could see something like, let's say you're saying hello to me, right? And then I want to see if you actually said it. I don't want, because if you don't say it, then you're going to have something like the empty string, right? But if you said it, it's going to be something like this. So I want to see if you said it by doing not. That's going to give me, you actually said something to me. If I do empty string, you didn't say anything. Peter?
Like not. What is true?
What is true? The implicit value of 41 is true. I don't know if that makes sense. If we do not of 0, 0 kind of means nothing. So it kind of makes sense that it's falsy. And then same thing for the empty string. It's nothing, so it kind of makes sense that it's false. Camille? an example would be once we have an if statement, if I want to see if you told me something, it will be something like, let's say you told me hello, and I want to just see, like, it doesn't matter what you told me, as long as you told me something, it's going to be true. And then I could do something else. I could reply back, for instance. Yeah. That's correct. Yes. That will be helpful once we are building forms. So, cool. So that's it for today. Thank you very much. Please find the Git and GitHub Lab, the Git and GitHub exit ticket on Canvas. And please do the value types and operators lab for due tomorrow at midnight. And again, I'm going to be available on Slack if you have any questions. I know that we kind of went fast over this, so feel free to reach out. All right? That is a good question. To get out of Node, you could do Control-C twice, as Cameron is suggesting, and you could type .exit. .exit. Okay, I'm gonna. Yes, to get out of Node, yes. But you could do Control-C twice. Okay, so yeah, I'm gonna put some detailed instructions on Slack for the value types and operators lab. Okay, thank you very much again, and let me know if you have any questions.
I got that error with the JavaScript.
Okay, cool. So come with me.
You have something to clear, but I told you to turn the window to the tag out and I will know.
Git, were you having the problem where you couldn't push to GitHub?
Right.
You were, okay. It was saying like permission denied or something like that? Okay. Yeah, then come with me. Okay, so I guess I'm gonna be showing you on the projector. So grab a chair. So let me get. Okay. So you were all getting the permission denied or something like that on Git. Access rights. Okay. Okay. So let's go to who's in the repository. Who's inside the repository? Yeah, I think you are. No? On your terminal, yeah. So I'm gonna be in here, right? And then just make sure that you're in the repository with Git status. I think you're blocking. Oh, I'm sorry.
I'm just wondering about the project tomorrow. You say you still have something to add?
Yeah. Oh, right. You.
Because I did everything.
That one is shipping.
I did all of that already, but I can't open it.
Yeah. You could try Nano. Try Nano. and then you can type it.
Okay, that's it.
You can do it here. I'm gonna research and then let you know if I find anything. Yeah. Okay, so do we see this in the repository? Okay. Actually,
We're supposed to clone your folder.
yeah, that one is for the submitting lab. The value types and operator lab. If you go to Canvas, you'll see
this.
Yeah, read and solve that.
Oh, that's homework.
Yes.
It's due by.
The end of the day tomorrow, midnight tomorrow.
And this is the only homework.
Yeah.
How do I change the default? Because I wanted to open up on Atom. It keeps opening up on subcontext.
I think you double clicked it, right? I think you double clicked it. In the terminal, you could do cd into this folder and then do Atom readme. Or here, like open with or something. You on the repo? Okay, cool. Okay, so now go in the browser, all of you. Go in the browser and go to your account on GitHub. You have to be on GitHub. Okay, that you can leave that and now go to your account here and then go to settings. Settings, you're seeing here? Okay. Now, you're gonna go to this link that says SSH and GPG keys. So this is how Git is gonna trust you, because it's gonna give you a key, and that key, it knows that it's you. So now we're gonna click on this link, generating SSH keys. Now, I still recommend, going through this, but we're gonna go kind of fast. So the first thing is, let's do this. Let's check for existing SSH keys. And I think you will see nothing, but you can see that I do have some. So, did everyone see where I went? Checking for existing SSH key? Right, so to check if we have keys which are how GitHub identifies us, we just do ls-al home directory /.ssh, right? And this should look familiar to us, right? We're listing everything in the directory that is in home /.ssh. I see this. What do you see? Remove that semicolon. Okay, known host, but you don't see anything like idrsa.pop. But you didn't have trouble pushing to GitHub, did you?
I did the first time with I did the way you did
Do you see, are you typing this correctly?
Yes, I have it.
Okay, you type it and paste it, and it says no such file or directory. Okay, so if it says no such file or directory, okay, that's good. That means you don't have any keys. Okay, now let's go to. Oh, actually, I should stop this.